Wicked Blogger Ghana is back again, and today the spotlight is on a so-called Nigerian king who thought he could outsmart America and walk away clean. His name? Joseph Olugbenga Oloyede. In Nigeria, people bow to him as Oba Oloyede, the Apetu of Ipetumodu. But in the United States, this same royal was running paperwork fraud, like an underground Yahoo boy. Instead of protecting his crown, he was chasing quick money and ended up disgracing himself, his throne, and his people. Let's break down how this so-called king moved from palace chair to prison bank. Before we drop explosive on the AMG business squad in Ghana and their illegal dealings and money laundering through car dealerships, real estates, restaurants, and others, let's deal with this interesting story. Smash the subscribe button and always remember we have no Snapchat handle. We operate only via YouTube, Telegram, and TikTok, all at Wicked Blogger GH. Joseph Olugbenga Oloyede was living double life. In Nigeria, he paraded himself as Oba Oloyede, the Apetu of Ipetumodu, a respected traditional ruler in Osun State. In America, he posed as a tax preparer and business owner in Medina, Ohio. For years, he enjoyed the best of both worlds, enjoying the royal respect from home and the dollars from his American hustle. But behind all that polished image, this man was swimming deep in fraud. Together with his partner, Pastor Edward Oluwasanmi, he milked the pandemic relief system in the United States, collecting millions of dollars that were meant for struggling workers and businesses during COVID-19. His game finally collapsed. Investigators grabbed him. The court forced a guilty plea out of him. And today, the so-called king is sitting in prison, stripped of money, dignity, and the respect that people once gave him. This is the full story of how a Nigerian monarch turned into an American fraudster, the tricks he used, the victims he left behind, and the disgrace that now follows him in both America and Nigeria. Early life and dual identity. Oloyede didn't look like the type who would end up as a scammer. Back home in Nigeria, he climbed his way into prominence until he was crowned as the traditional ruler of Ipetumodu, a community that carries history and pride. With that crown came the respect and the expectation that he would be an upright leader. But unlike most kings, this one had another life. As a naturalized citizen in America, he set himself up in Medina, Ohio. He worked as a tax preparer, ran businesses, and even controlled a nonprofit organization. Clients trusted him with their financial records, and the man looked every inch like a successful professional. This double identity king in Nigeria, financial expert in America, gave him the cover he needed. Royalty gave him credibility. His tax background gave him the skill, and when the chance came, he used both to bend the system for his selfish gain. The temptation of pandemic funds. When the COVID-19 pandemic scattered the world in the year 2020, governments rushed to protect their economies. In the United States, they rolled out relief programs like the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. The idea was straight pump cash into businesses so jobs could be saved and the economy would not collapse. But in their rush, the system left cracks. Applications were being approved quickly with little checks. Scammers saw this hole, and Oloyede was one of them. As a tax preparer, he already knew what lenders wanted to see. He could draft payrolls, cook up fake records, and make bogus applications look official. For a greedy man like him, it was like giving a thief the keys to the treasury. The scheme in motion. From April year 2020 to February year 2022, Oloyede and his pastor partner went all out. They pushed dozens of fraudulent applications through the system. The plan had layers, using personal businesses. He applied in the names of his own companies, businesses that either barely existed or didn't qualify for the money. But with forged papers, he made them look legitimate, exploiting clients. Because he handled taxes, he already had client information. He convinced some to let him apply on their behalf, then demanded 15 to 20% cut from whatever loan came through. Some of these clients may not have even realized the level of fraud attached to their names. Fabricated records. The numbers on those forms were pure fiction. Inflated payrolls, ghost employees, fake revenue figures. On the surface, it looked real. Underneath, it was one big lie. Personal spending. Instead of supporting businesses, the stolen money went into land, a house project, and even a luxury car. While small businesses were dying, This man was balling with their lifeline. Altogether, 38 applications got approved. The loot? Over $4 million. The investigation. With so much pandemic fraud going on, federal agents started digging. Strange applications kept pointing back to the same preparer. The style, the numbers, the patterns, they all screamed fraud. They traced it back to Oloyede. They uncovered the kickbacks, the misuse of client info, and the fake records. It became too obvious to ignore. Both he and his pastor accomplice were dragged into court on charges of wire fraud, money laundering, and false tax filings. The courtroom battle. In April, year 2025, Oloyede surrendered and pleaded guilty. No long trial, no dragging. He admitted his crime, but still had to face the punishment. By August year 2025, the judge hammered him. The court made it clear this man abused his clients, scammed the government, and ran a long-term fraud operation just to enrich himself. The sentence? 56 months in federal prison, restitution of more than $4 million, 3 years of supervised release after jail. On top of that, he had to forfeit his Medina home and close to $100,000 that authorities had seized. His partner in crime, Pastor Oluwasanmi, had already been slapped earlier with 27 months in prison plus restitution. Fallout in Nigeria. Back in Ipetumodu, the disgrace landed like a bombshell. How can a king, who is supposed to be the custodian of morality and dignity, be unmasked as an international fraudster? People felt betrayed and ashamed. Some community leaders are calling for him to be removed. Others argue that a conviction in America shouldn't automatically dethrone him. But no matter how you look at it, his crown is now stained forever. The human cost. While Oloyede was busy enjoying his loot, real businesses were closing down. Workers lost jobs. Families suffered. That money he stole could have kept shops open, paid rents, and preserved livelihoods. Instead, it went into his selfish pockets. Even worse, clients who trusted him became unwilling pawns in a scam. Their names are now tied to fraudulent loans, and some may never escape the scrutiny. The betrayal runs deep. Lessons from the case. This case screams lessons. Fraud will always find gaps in emergencies. Trust can easily be abused when you put your data in the wrong hands. Titles and reputation don't mean someone is honest. And above all, justice doesn't care if you're a king or a commoner. If you play with fraud, you will pay. What lies ahead? For now, Oloyede's future is locked behind bars in the United States. The bigger question is his throne in Ipetumodu. Will they forgive him when he comes back? Or is this the end of his reign as Apetu? Financially, he is finished. The restitution and forfeitures will drain him dry. Whatever he thought he had gained has been taken away, and when he finally walks free, he will be coming out to nothing. His story is a loud warning. Greed can bring down not just a man, but an entire institution. Oloyede's fall is not just personal shame. It is a scar on tradition, leadership, and trust. So there you have it. A whole monarch reduced to nothing but a convicted fraudster. From palace to prison, from respect to ridicule. Joseph Olugbenga Oloyede thought his crown and his tax knowledge made him untouchable, but the system proved him wrong. Wicked blogger Ghana will keep saying it, fraud may look sweet today, but a disgrace tomorrow will be louder than any money you ever stole. Smash the subscribe button.